I'm sending this message to you, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi al-Qurashi al-Husseini, the Caliph of the Islamic State. I am Shirly Sottlof. My son Stephen is in your hands. Stephen is a journalist who traveled to the Middle East to cover the suffering of Muslims at the hand of tyrants. Stephen is a loyal and generous son, brother, and grandson. He's an honorable man and has always tried to help the weak. We have not seen Stephen for over a year, and we miss him very much. We want to see him home safe and sound and to hug him. Since Stephen's capture, I've learned a lot about Islam. I've learned that Islam teaches that no individual should be held responsible for the sins of others. Stephen has no control over the actions of the U.S. government. He's an innocent journalist. I've always learned that you, the Caliph, can grant amnesty. I ask you to please release my child. As a mother, I ask your justice to be merciful and not punish my son for matters he has no control over. I ask you to use your authority to spare his life and to follow the example set by the Prophet Muhammad, who protected people of the book. I want what every mother wants, to live to see her children's children. I plead with you to grant me this.
Shirly Sottlof appealing directly to the ISIS movement, who we believe are holding her son a hostage in Syria. That on an Arabic network, and it was just released. Anna Corrin has more on this from Erbil. And Anna, this is fascinating. A mother appealing directly through an Arabic news network to the captors of her son, the ISIS group. How is this going to go down?
Look, it's a desperate move, but one which she has no other choice but to make. We heard that emotional statement from Shirly Sottlof, who has not heard from her son since he disappeared back in August of last year. Of course, Stephen was in Syria, northern Syria, we believe near Aleppo, covering the civil war when he disappeared. What will this statement do to the ISIS militants, who we have seen what they are capable of? This is a brutal, barbaric terrorist organisation some describe as psychopaths who take pleasure in beheading their enemy. And certainly we saw that last week with the brutal video of the execution of American journalist James Foley. It was, of course, at the end of that video, Becky, that we saw proof of life of Stephen Sottlof. He was in an orange jumpsuit, on his knees, a militant we believe to be the executioner of Sottlof, I beg your pardon, of James Foley, with that British accent towering over him, making a statement to President Obama that his fate was in his hands. Will Shirly Sottlof's appeal make any difference to the fate of Stephen? We just don't know, Becky. We don't know what is behind ISIS and their thinking on this, but certainly from a mother's perspective, she felt she had no other choice but to make this direct appeal.
And starting that direct appeal, I noticed in Arabic before she went on with some very emotional words about her son, and just appealing to these men and possibly women to just let him go. Stay with us, Anna, for a moment. An American writer held by Islamist militants in Syria for nearly 2 years is today thanking everyone who worked to secure his freedom. A short time ago, Peter Theo Curtis told reporters gathered outside his mother's home in Massachusetts that he is overwhelmed by the number of total strangers who have welcomed him home. He promised to speak about his experiences later, after he gets a chance to spend some quality time with his family. Have a listen to this.
There have been literally hundreds of people, brave, determined, and big-hearted people all over the world working for my release. They've been working for 2 years on this. I had no idea when I was in prison. I had no idea that so much effort was being expended on my behalf. And now, having found out, I am just overwhelmed with emotion.
Anna, what we understand is that Theo